Hello everyone. I'm going to show you now how to take a Google Doc that you want to share and link it with a bit.ly shortened URL so that it's easy to share that document with your intended audience. I'm also going to show you how to take a Google form you've created and share the address with a group using a shortened bit.ly address for the same purpose. So let's go by opening up a Google Doc. And so this is the Google Doc that I created earlier in the training. And so the permissions have already been set to the sufficient level that the link is already open for sharing. And it's quite important, it's open for sharing, it's also open for editing. So if I go to click on share, then you'll notice that anyone with the link can edit this document. If I wanted to change that, I could just click on that arrow and say, well, you could only view the document, but that's a choice on a case-by-case basis. So I'll go done. Oh, actually, there we go. Click again, share. I'm going to say here, copy the link. I could just click on it and right-click and so on, but copy the link does the same thing. It's copied. And now what I want to do is I want to send this address. I want to link it with a shortened URL or shortened address. So how do I do that? Well, it says paste the long URL here. So I go right-click and I go paste. Now the address I've just pasted is the address of my Google Doc. On the right hand side now, you'll see that by default it's given me that shortened URL or address. Now I don't really want that because it is shorter, but I want something more specific, something that's more memorable. So in this case, I'm going to customize it and I'm going to call it something that's easy to remember. So a lot of the best ones are taken, but a lot of the time if you go WGHS to start with, that makes it unique. So perhaps WGHS test, 1. I think I might have used this before in a previous exercise, but I can try and save that. Oh, that wasn't taken. Okay, so now the address of that document is going to be, basically you're going to get pointed to it if you use this address. And I'll show you how it works. So if I go copy that address and I open up a new browser, and so if I right click in and paste here, you can see that, and I don't even need that first bit, it'll actually work with just bit.ly WGHS test1. If I click enter, it will take me straight to the Google Doc that this is linked to. And this is fantastic if I want to include something in the messages and say the following people who would need to contribute to the following document, go to this address, and they just get there. It's not complicated, it's not long. So that is the first really useful function of bit.ly. The other one is with Google Forms. So if I go back to my drive, actually let me just make sure that bit.ly has been, it's been saved. If I close this, you'll see that there's a history of the links that I've shortened. So I go to my drive now, and I'm going to go to a Google form I've created here. And I want to do the same thing with this form. I want to point people to fill in my Google form. So I go view live form, and now I have the address. I click on that, I right click, I go copy. Obviously there are shortcuts if you're comfortable with shortcuts. I go to bit.ly, and all I do is I paste the address of the Google form there. Once you've done that, up pops this window. Again, that's the default shortened URL, but I want something a bit more user-friendly, so I'm going to go WGHS test2. I'm going to go save. You can see now it's saved and it's recorded in my history. And again, just to prove this is working, I'm going to go to a new browser window. I'm going to, did I copy the other thing? I didn't. Let's just quickly go and get it. Copy, and then if I go to here and I go paste and I click enter, you'll see that it takes me to the Google form. So it's just basically an easy way to point people to stuff. And what's great is if you forget these sort of codes and these shortened URLs, they all live in bit.ly, so that there's a history and you can track even how many people have been to your link, and it's just a very great tool for pointing people to these fantastic Google tools, and well worth understanding how it works.